Hey guys, this is Joe. I am the co-founder of Sign Tracker and one of the moderators for Behind the Signs. This is the first time I've ever made one of these little impromptu videos, so you'll have to forgive any technical roughness here. So I am experimenting. Old dog, new trick. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you for a second about something that I'm pretty passionate about, and it's understanding your value and your worth and how to calculate that when you're selling products and services to your customers. So first off, it's important to remember that people are going to pay you what they think you're worth and not what you're worth. And I'm not saying that everyone's out there looking for a bargain or they're malicious about it. They just don't understand what goes into producing a custom product, the amount of labor and design and the technical skills required to install it. And so it's your job to educate them. And look, I made this mistake. People would come in the door, oh, this is what I have for a budget. And they didn't even really understand any of the processes and what went into making what they needed. And a lot of times I took the work. I thought, oh, I'm going to just, I'll grind my price down on this project and maybe I'll get a great customer out of it or whatever. And, maybe once in a while you do that for a project. But the bottom line is I did it over and over again. And until I really understood my own value, I was hurting the company. And I did not have the resources to grow the business, to really take good care of my employees, which I wanted to do. And in the end of the day, I didn't have the resources to really provide great service to our customers. I was cutting corners. So I really had to take a step back and figure out how to fix that. First, it was calculating my labor rate, looking at all my overhead expenses, what I was paying somebody, all the labor burden that went into that. So whether it's insurance or benefits or whatever, and putting all that together and compiling it into a rate that was a shop rate or a field rate. And a field rate being maybe one person in a truck out installing graphics all the way up to 3 or 4 people with a couple of cranes out in the field. And it took some work. I had to sit down with my CPA and we did this consistently at least once a year. We had a sheet, an Excel sheet that helped us, feed all the information into it. It would spit out a labor formula, which if you look in our file section of Behind the Signs, it's in there. Please feel free to take it, get with your CPA and figure that out. The other thing is understanding that, in the industry itself, I know there's folks that are working in really small shops, maybe a garage person or whatever, person working out of their garage, and they think, oh, $35 an hour, $40 an hour, and I'm covered. The problem is you're never going to grow your business if that's what you're charging. So you got to get in kind of line with the industry standards. And granted, if you're working in a big city, you might have union fees or whatever. If you're working in a smaller rural town, maybe your overhead, your rent's not good, your shop's on your property, and your rent is, or you don't have rent, or your rent is pretty low. It's fine, but there's still going to be a pretty tight range of what you should be charging an hour. So after running my own sign shops for a few years, 20 years, and then also after talking to a lot of sign shops, I've compiled a list of sort of range pricing for hourly rates. And it's everything from design and admin, project management fees, router printers, all the way down to crane trucks in the field and wrap rates. And look, these are suggested ranges. So I think, again, working with your CPA and trying to figure this out is going to be super helpful. But don't be afraid, to raise your prices to make the money that you deserve to make. And look, when you're looking at this list, if you're in, California or Michigan or Florida and your shop rate's a little different than that, it'd be great if you could post it in the chat so that we can all kind of look at what different regions might be getting. And I know sometimes that makes you feel a little iffy to do that because it's like, oh man, my competitor down the street is going to know what I'm charging. But the thing is, unless we work together to elevate our industry and not be like be bottom feeders, we'll always kind of be stuck with not having enough money to grow and to not feel just crazy stress all the time. So I encourage you, to take a look at those documents, give us some feedback. And as always, if you ever want to chat about this, just hit me up, send me a direct message or whatever. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I know this was probably, this is a little rough on the video side since it's my first one, but I hope it's helpful. I hope the tools are helpful, and have a great day. Thanks again for joining me.